Apologies, I accidentally hit the power cord and completely lost power. So there are two parts to this video, not because it's long, but because I lost power. All right, so we are going to solve for several pieces. So in this triangle, they only gave us one side. So we're going to find, so across from S would be side S, and we're also going to find side T, and I'm going to do a lowercase t. So I'm going to find S, I'm going to find T, and then I'm also going to find angle R. We do not know what angle R is. So when they say solve, I'm finding those three pieces because I'm missing those three pieces. I'm going to actually start with angle R. I know that the sum of all three angles in a triangle add up to equal 180. So they add up to equal 180 degrees. So a little review from geometry. So angle R will equal 180 minus 36 minus 44 degrees, right? So angle R equals 100 degrees. So I solved for angle R. Now I'm going to solve for side S. So I'm going to start with what I have. So the sine of 36 degrees, notice they've given me, I don't know S, but they're across from each other. So this should be side S, and that will be proportional. I know these two pieces. So it would be the sine of 100 degrees, right, because we just found this is 100, over 9. And then from there, I would cross multiply. So 9 times the sine of 36 degrees equals S times the sine of 100 degrees. So notice I cross multiplied. And then to solve for S, I would divide by the sine of 100. And I do that, but I do all of this before entering anything in my calculator. So I now have S will equal, so in my calculator, 9 times the sine of 36 degrees, enter, divided by the sine of 100 degrees, and I got that S approximately equals 5.37. So I'm going to enter that here. And then I'm going to move on to finding T. So for T, I have, these are across from each other, right? So the sine of 44 degrees over T equals the sine of 100 degrees over 9. And again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I like to write it 9 times the sine of 44 degrees will equal T times the sine of 100. And then I'm simply going to divide, right, by the sine of 100. So T equals 9 times the sine of 44 divided by the sine of 100. And I get 6.348 or 6.35. So I have now solved for this triangle. I have the two missing sides and the missing angle. So let's move on to part D. So part D, they've drawn, they'd like us to find the measure of angle A, and our triangle looks like this. Kind of. Sorry if I'm not drawing this perfectly. A, B, C. They've told us C is 31 degrees. They've told us this is 10 and this is 14. So I'm going to go ahead and they want us to find this angle here, which is across from 10, and I have this angle here, which is across from 14. So that is how I'm going to set this up, okay? So I have the sine of angle A, which I don't know, over 10 equals the sine of 31 degrees over 14. And again, I'm going to cross multiply, right? Multiplying here and here. So I have 14 times the sine of angle A equals 10 times the sine of 31 degrees. I would divide by the 14. So the sine of angle A equals, and I'm going to enter this in my calculator. So 10 times the sine, sorry, I have a glare on mine, of 31, enter, divided by 14, and I get 0.36788. And so to find what angle would give me that ratio, I'm going to enter sine inverse of 0.36788. And that'll tell me what angle A is. So I'm going to do second inverse, shift and then sine. And then I'm going to enter my decimal, 0.36788. And I got 21.58. I'm going to go ahead and round that to 21.6 degrees. So there is angle A. All right, moving on to part E, and let's see what they've written. So part E, they have told me that the measure of angle A is 63 degrees. They've told me A equals 38, C equals 40, and they want me to find the measure of angle C. So I'm going to move this down. So remember, capital letters are angles. So I'm going to set this up. The sine of 63 degrees. And notice they've given us the capital A and lowercase a, so those are paired together, must equal the sine of angle C, which I don't know, over 40, right? These are paired together, and these are paired together. Okay, so they should go to a capital A and a lowercase a capital C and a lowercase c. And again, we're going to cross multiply. So 40 times the sine of 63 degrees equals 38 times the sine of C. I'm going to divide both sides by 38. And so I'm going to enter this in my calculator. So the sine of C equals 40 times the sine of 63, enter, divided by 38, and I get 0.93790. And so to find this, I'm going to enter the sine inverse of 0.9379 will equal whatever angle C is. And so I have to use that button. Shift, sine, 0.9379, and I get 69.7. So the measure of angle C is approximately 69.7 degrees. All right. Last one, and I'm going to change it from the book. I want us one more practice. We are going to solve another triangle because that is what's going to come up on your test. And so we're going to solve the following triangle. So give me 2 seconds. We're going to solve triangle MNP. And so here's my triangle. Here is M. Here is N, here is P. This is 65 degrees. This is 74 degrees. I know this is 14. So let's solve for the pieces we're missing. So let's talk about that. I am missing the side across from P, so that would be lowercase p. I'm missing the side across, so that's lowercase m. And I'm missing angle N. So those are the things I'm going to find. I'm going to find angle N, and then I'm going to find the sides P and M. And so that is what I'm solving for. Now remember, angle N is going to be the easiest because I know that 180 minus 65 minus 74 will equal angle N because all three angles will add up to equal 180. So 180 minus 65 minus 74, I get 41 degrees. So angle N solved just like that. This is 41 degrees. So now I'm going to solve for side P. So the sine of 74 degrees over P will equal the sine of, so I'm using this pair and this known pair. You have to have at least one pair where you know both values. So the sine of 41 degrees over 14. So I'm going to cross multiply. So 14 times the sine of 74 degrees divided by the sine of 41 degrees will equal P. And hopefully you can see I cross multiplied and then knew that whatever was in front of P I'd have to divide by. So 14 times the sine of 74, hit enter, divided by the sine of 41, P equals approximately 20.5. So I'm going to put 20.5. Okay, and let's say this is in inches. So this would be inches. Okay, let's find M. So the sine of 65 degrees over M. And I'm going to use that same known pair. So I'm using this pair and the known pair. So 65 over M equals the sine of 41 degrees over 14. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I would have 14 times the sine of 65 degrees, right, equals M times the sine of 41. So I'm doing that part in my head that I'm going to then have to divide by the sine of 41 degrees. So that's what I did last time. I skipped that step, hoping you could visualize that. So M equals 14 times the sine of 65, hit enter, divided by the sine of 41, and I get approximately, M is approximate, because I'm rounding, 19.3. So 19.3 inches. And that covers this lesson. Thank you.